9. Please make sure to check out the African Market located at the back of the auditorium for your NAN t-shirts and other items of interest before you leave the House of Justice today. Now, Don Jones, Chair of the Political Action Committee. Don Jones.
Greetings, House of Justice, and happy Saturday. The National Action Network Political Action Committee 4th Saturday monthly meeting will be held right here at the House of Justice on Saturday, July 22nd, 2017 at 11 o'clock a.m. immediately following the rally. The purpose of the meeting is planning our 5th Saturday Forum on Affordable Housing on Saturday, July 29, 2017 at 12 o'clock noon. Debriefing of our voter registration table at Juneteenth celebration, Harlem Mother Saves 5th Annual Harlem Healing and Wellness Fair, International Arts Festival, Harlem Book Fair, and others. The National Action Network New York City Chapter Political Action Committee presents an affordable housing forum right here at the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street in the Village of Harlem. That's on Saturday, July 29, 2017 at 12 o'clock noon. Light refreshments will be served. Come out and let your voice be heard. Celebrating the life and legacy, 3rd anniversary of Eric Gardner, a night of praise and worship at Pastor Waldron, 1st Corinthians Baptist Church, 1912 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard, right here in the Village of Harlem, 7 o'clock p.m., doors open at 6:30 p.m. For further information or tickets, 346-779-45669. Have a blessed weekend. Thank you for your attention. That concludes the National Action Network announcements. Peace, justice, and blessings.
45 seconds, we'll be back live. I want to thank all of you again that are with us here in the House of Justice this morning. I want to thank all of you that are watching us online across the nation and whatever platform you're on. We really thank you for being with us. And of course, we want to thank all of you that are not only members of the National Action Network, but who convene with your chapters on Saturday for your own action rallies. It's so important to the work that we do across the country. We really, truly thank you for that and for being a part of the National Action Network. As we always tell you, if you're not a member of the network, you need to be a member. And while you're watching us online, of course, you can do all of that while you're online. You can become a member. You can also help support the movement. The work for justice and freedom is about justice and freedom, but none of that happens without your support, and particularly those dimes, nickels, quarters, dollars that you may be able to bring to help support the movement. We also invite all of you who are at the website to take advantage of the website, tour the website, experience all that is there for you.
One, go.
We're back, brothers and sisters. We're here. We're live. We're in the House of Justice for our Saturday Action Rally. I'd like you to get on your feet right now for the president and founder of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. No justice,
no peace.
No justice,
No peace.
no justice,
No peace.
no justice.
No peace.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
Hug the person next to you, tell him you know.
Never give up and never give in. When you're wrong, keep your time moving. Trouble and fire won't let go away. God on our side, nothing will fly. Nothing will hold on the reach road. A better day is coming and it won't be too long. Yes, things will
Action Network Change Choir, give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. Certainly we're happy to be with you another Saturday morning. For you that are here live at the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street in the village of Harlem. And for you that are listening live on 1190 WLIB AM in New York, we're happy to be with you another Saturday morning where the action is. Give a hand to our presider, Attorney Michael Hardy. And to all that have gathered again, we're glad our Councilman Mark Levine are with us this morning. Let me urge you first that are listening around the tri-state area, several things that I really want to appeal to you to be cognizant of. First of all, this is the 15th, and on Monday the 17th is the 3rd anniversary of the choking death by the hands of a New York City policeman of Eric Garner. And one of the things that National Action Network does is we do not get involved in a case and not stay with the family and the case until it's in. We met with Jeff Sessions, the new Attorney General, who I don't have a lot of faith in, early in his taking, and I raised it. The family members met with the Justice Department about 3 weeks ago, and we are with them now as we were 3 years ago when we held the first rallies out there and did the eulogy at the funeral. The difference between actors and activists is that actors want to be seen and perform. Activists want to see change and justice. Some folk just want to be seen. And as long as there is press, they're there performing. And I remember Bishop Herbert Daughtry is with us as he is when he's in town. Give him a hand. I remember when Sean Bell was killed many years ago, and a guy showed up in Queens. We out in marching in Queens, and the guy showed up. We ain't gonna take it no more. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all follow me, listen to these preachers. We ain't gonna take it no more. And I said to Bishop Daughtry, I said, you know him? He said, yeah, he's the same guy 10 years ago that was at a rally saying, we ain't gonna take it no more. And we ain't seen him in the last 10 years. I say all that to say that there's a series of events this weekend that NAN is convening and a part of, and want everybody that is listening to me on the air or that are here at the House of Justice to be at. Tomorrow we're joining on 11 o'clock at New Hope in New Jersey, the mother of Eric Garner, and a service there. We're flying in other mothers that have worked with her Gwen Carr, and you're going from there to the cemetery. And then Monday night, I want all of you. You may not be able to get to Jersey or the cemetery, but all of us can get to the First Corinthian Baptist Church on 116th Street, 7th Avenue. That is the actual day that Eric was killed. And they're having celebrating his life and legacy and the demand for justice. I will be there, Eaton Thomas, the NFL the pastor, of course, of First Corinthian, our national board member, the Reverend Dr. Michael Walron, and of course we'll be there with the widow of Eric Garner, as well as his daughter, Emerald, who is with us this morning. Give him all a big hand. Emerald came and told me that she does not want that day to ever go unmarked. She has given her life and the life of her little daughter to continue to fight not only for justice for her father, but for other families. She's worked here at the crisis desk and gone to school getting her degrees in line because she wants to be ready to fight. So I want all of us and all of you listening to be at 1 Corinthians at 7 o'clock Monday night to be with Emerald and to be with Esau, who is the widow of Eric Gardner. Are we going to do that? Yes. Are y'all going to be with Emerald and Esau and me Monday night? Yes. All right. Give her another hand and we'll with her. I want you to support the families as we deal with these issues. And in about 2 minutes or so, about 3 minutes, I'm looking at the producer. If I don't look at her, she will reprimand me later. But one of the things that I think we must do is stay on these cases and deal with a variety of issues at the same time because they're dealing with a variety of abuses against us. So one of the things that we need is more activism, not less. I don't care if it's what they're doing with the immigrants, what they're doing with women. I'm praying for the women. Women are marching about the NRA. I'm supporting that, and I'm supporting what we're dealing with in the South. Family came here this morning, our young Reverend Shane Harris sent. Situation in San Diego. We've got to be on many fronts at the same time. And no matter what you do, I was talking to a young man that Reverend Daughtry brought with him, young minister that he's working with, because we always are constantly trying to help the next generation. And they're going to get mad because they think it should only be you and them. They understand you got a lot of young folk, and if you hug one longer than the other, then you got favorites and all of that, and you running all of that. I got to make sure I kiss Dominique as much as I do Ashley. And both of them grown. But they little kids when it come to that. So you run into that with chapter leaders and young folk, he didn't support me, he didn't call my name. As I call nobody's name, because if I don't call everybody's name, I'm the bad guy. So I ain't call nobody's name. So you get into trouble. But I support all of what we're doing because that's what we must do. And if you're committed to that, you want to see that go on and on from generation to generation. Last Saturday right here, we honored David Dinkins' 90th birthday, and I was at Gracie Mansion with Bishop Daughtry this week, where the mayor honored him. It is about honoring your elders, because if it had not been for them, you wouldn't have been. And though he was here last week and we stood with him, we stood in the audience as Bill de Blasio honored him during the week, because if all you want is recognition, then you really don't get respect. You ain't giving respect if you ain't the star, you ain't showing up. You got some preachers like that. If I'm not preaching, I ain't going. Well, then you're not committed to Christ, you committed to your own celebrity. And that's why we stay with the victims no matter how long. Because it's about justice. I don't care what the news cycle does. She will never have her father. But she should at least have her community. I don't care what Eyewitness News does. Esau will not have her husband. They should at least have their community to say, we will never let them forget. And until they give an answer to the Justice Department, we're going to stand up for the Gardner family. You can't, if you study this, I gave the staff, the national staff, copies of Dr. King's book, Where Do We Go From Here, his last book. And if you study movements, you know that it takes time and commitment. They did the Montgomery bus boycott December 1st, 1955. They didn't get the Civil Rights Act until 64. There were 9 years. And in those 9 years, different people were doing different things. Dr. King boycotted, and they had a march on Washington 57. The Freedom Riders was riding the buses. Dr. King never was a Freedom Rider. They get on the bus. Some of the Freedom Riders say Dr. King's too church, too old. Dr. King never got over 39 years old. But you had the young youth thing there with him, the students, they formed SNCC. You had CORE doing something else. You had the NAACP in the courts. You had Malcolm doing. This ain't nothing new. Young fighting old, this group fighting that group, this ain't black enough, that. All this ain't new. And the reason why I don't get in the middle of it is I've seen this movie before. I grew up in it. I never seen a time that we all agreed and all got along and egos didn't get bruised. But we found a way to move forward anyhow. Because at the end of the day, most of the folk that was abusive to each other verbally and this, that, or other got their feelings hurt, nobody knows or cares now. All they know is what you got done. So don't get caught up on stuff that don't matter. Because it ain't gonna matter over a period of time. National Action Network, 26 years old. I can't tell you how many folk come through here that told, I made it. I made the network. Wouldn't have happened wasn't for me. I knew Reverend Al when he didn't have matching socks. But all that wouldn't have mattered if we had made a difference. And I used to argue with him and fight with him. Now, with whatever you say, as long as we made a difference, it don't matter. If you need that for your little ego, then I'll give you that and more. Not only did you teach me how to match socks, you bought my shoes too. Now you feel better? I mean, if that's what you need, I'll help you with this. Because we must fight for real change rather than fight each other, whether you realize it or not. While we in these little bickerings and all this little fight, they have changed the administration in Washington. And they're unraveling all of the things that was fought for. And they look at it as entertainment while we run around taking pot shots at each other rather than focusing on them. And you arguing about who's on the set rather than the set is being reset and taking you out of the agenda. That's what we ought to be focused on. So I want us to be real clear about that. Now, one of the things that I want us to also do is be here on this week as we deal with technology. National Action Network and Spectrum is having a forum here on bridging the digital divide. And our State Senator Brian Benjamin and I will be hosting that here and at the House of Justice on this Tuesday, the 18th at 6 o'clock. I want everybody to be here at 6 o'clock at the House of Justice. Digital divide. I said last week and I repeat that automation is going to cause more employment problems than immigration. Because automation is taking a lot of our jobs. And we are trying to deal with that. And we are going to deal with that in a real way. So 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Let me welcome our national audience on internet broadcast, internet network, and give a hand out to audience around the country now watching us on television. First of all, I want them around the country to understand, as we meet on Saturday mornings, that Impact is the only African American owned religious national broadcast network. And we are proud that we are on every Saturday morning. And I want those watching to know that we are a unapologetic civil rights activist church-based movement. That's why I tell people every Saturday that as you fight because of your conviction, not despite it. People talk about you're a minister out there fighting. That is my calling. I ain't left the church. In fact, I preach every Sunday and during the week and get up and do the same prayers at sunrise I did when I was a boy preacher growing up in Washington Temple Church of God in Christ. But God gives you the ministry to minister in different ways. But I also know that people are struggling. That's why we have a prayer line. I tell people on Saturday morning, you can call and get prayer and call and help and join the movement at the same time. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can do both. In fact, you can't really be a good Christian and not try to affect what's going on in the world. So you watching us that need a word of prayer, because these are some times that you need prayer. Don't act like you ain't going through something. And you need to deal with fighters that know how to get through. Or some of you have problems, situations, community crisis. We have our prayer warriors and our crisis team at the phones right now. You can call us at 877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651. Someone will pick you up right now and pray with you or receive your contribution. We need you to contribute. A lot of y'all have never marched, never protest, but you ought to support those that do. Your $5, your $10, your Reverend Al, I'm with you. 877-626-4651, or go online to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And you know, somebody asked me the other day, Reverend, why do you have people calling and prayer, call and donate? My mother raised me calling in preachers praying. My mother used to put her hand on the radio. People said, put your hand on the radio and get healed. Y'all think you put your hand on the, first of all, y'all can't even find a radio number. They don't make radios like that no more. I remember I one day got out the shower, put my hand on the radio and shocked myself. I couldn't do it. But I come up knowing that intersection works. And it gave me more strength to do what I do. So it's like, it ain't that you stop doing what you used to do, you do it more. Harder you fight, the more you gonna pray. The more you stand up to the powers, the more you're gonna need a power stronger than the powers you standing up to. Let me also make this challenge. We have called on August 28th a 1,000 ministers march in Washington. We have announced this many weeks ago, and we're building up. I was in Chicago this week. I'm going to Atlanta as well as Virginia this coming week. We've been doing conference calls all over the country. 1,000 ministers. I want them to meet us in Washington on Monday, August 28th. Why Monday, August 28th? Monday, August 28th is the 54th anniversary of the March on Washington, where Martin Luther King gave the speech that has gone into history as I Have a Dream. In that speech, we recite the end of the speech. As Bishop Daughtry would say, there's always the climax to every sermon. The I Have a Dream was a climax to the sermon. Reverend Wyatt T. Walker, who was the executive director of Dr. King's organization, he was the first chairman of the board of National Action Network. He told me they had heard Dr. King close with that climax many times. And that many don't understand, give a little movement history to you watching. Even in those days, there was the rivalries and the jealousies and the competition. So they had the big 6 civil rights leaders. They had Malcolm X and them that were attacking the march. And those in the march didn't want Dr. King to steal the show. That's fact now. So they limited Dr. King to 8 minutes. Martin Luther King now, y'all think King, Randolph called a march. Randolph was 72 years old, he called a march. And NAACP, Irvin Lee, Call, all of them, Big 6, John Lewis and Snake. They said, well, Martin, 8 minutes. Every national organization only has 8 minutes. And we're going to put Martin in the afternoon, because most folk will be gone. He didn't speak till the afternoon. People were heading to their buses to go back. Because you got to remember now, in 63, most of them that came from the South, couldn't stay in a hotel, because once you got south of the Mason-Dixie line, you still had segregation. The 64 Act hadn't happened. So they had to get home or sleep in the bus. They couldn't use bathrooms on the road. They couldn't stop and get a cup of coffee. So you have to remember the environment of 63, which is why you should never do anything but respect them, because they came under conditions that you didn't have to come under. You talk about now you don't want to march because it's hot. Imagine if you had to ride the back of a bus to Washington. Couldn't release your body going to Washington. But you done got too cushioned and cozy now that everything got to be right for you to protest for your rights. That's why they taking your rights. Because you too delicate to be free. Now, they put up Dr. King late afternoon. But they made one error in their envy and their jealousy. They put Mahalia Jackson up to sing first. And she got up and sang, I've been duped. And I've been scorned. And I've seen the film. I wasn't but 9 years old. I was too young to go. I seen the film. You could see people literally start turning around and headed back to the march because they wanted to hear Mahalia sing. For y'all younger folk, Mahalia Jackson was the biggest gospel singer of that time. I was on and I preached as a boy preacher the next year when she sang at the New York World's Fair. The replicas are still out there. I preached as a boy preacher with Mahalia, did a couple of dates with her. She sang, they came back to hear Mahalia, and then they put Dr. King up. Dr. King in the speech talked about voting rights, talked about police misconduct, talked about income inequality, about the poor, talked about the very issues that we're dealing with now. That's why I want to go on that day and meet at the King Memorial with 1,000 ministers, because Dr. King was a minister. Now the rest of y'all can come, but I want 1,000 ministers there. And we're going to walk from King Memorial to the Department of Justice saying, don't be a dream buster. To President Donald Trump, to Attorney General Sessions, in the name of Dr. King we come. Now as Dr. King wind down, Dr. Walker told me, the audience was with him, but they didn't have the passion they wanted. And Mahalia, who had sang, standing behind him, said, Martin, tell him about that dream. Wyatt T. Walker told me that Dr. King went into his familiar clothes that they'd heard about he had a dream. He said, I got mad because I said, what is Martin doing that again for? But he did it at the behest of Miss Jackson because she knew the folk needed to be inspired on the way home. And he went in I Have a Dream, and it went into history. Many of y'all think he went to Washington to do I Have a Dream. He went to lay out the substance of the movement. And he ended it by saying the dream he had. Sometimes God can use you beyond what you planned. Because what he got for eternity has nothing to do with your contemporary desires. So I want everybody that is a minister to meet us in Washington on Monday morning, August 28th at the King Memorial. You can go right now to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net, and register online right now that I will be one of the 1,000 ministers. If you're not a minister, you should go and ask your minister. Y'all going to church tomorrow? Say, Reverend, are you going to Washington and stand up for my Medicaid, for my employment, around the police issues? Because 1,000 ministers are going. Are you going to be there? I'm a member of your church. I'm supporting you. In fact, I'm going to be there looking for my pastor. Hello. And you that can't get there, call us right now and say I'm going to help get $5, $10 to help get a bus there. At 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651, or call in for prayer. If you ain't got $5 to send, you ought to call and get a prayer because you need some money. But I want folk to pray. They're praying with folk right now on the line. That's right, you need a blessing. Now let me say this, the importance of this and the significance of this is that in these times, we must make a statement from the church. Monday, this past Monday, I saw evangelical leaders in the White House Oval Office laying hands on President Trump. I don't know if y'all saw that picture. And they all were lined up laying hands on Trump. Well, you need prayer. I'm not against that. But who gonna lay hands on the sick that are about to lose their health care? Who's gonna lay hands on the unemployed that can't get a job? Who's gonna lay hands on students that are choked by student loans? Who's gonna lay hands on victims of police brutality? Some of us were not called to just pray for the high and the mighty. Some of us were called to deal with those that Jesus dealt with. The rejects, the despised, the forgotten. I'm going August 28th to lay hands on those that need to be healed. Something strange to me about those that can look up at those that sit high and don't understand that we were called to lift those that were low to where God would want them to be. So I want all of us to be mindful of that. I also, as we've been fighting, this week, as I said, we're going to be commemorating and standing for justice with Eric Gardner's family, and I'm again glad that Emerald is with us, his daughter, and will be hosting us with her mother on Monday night. Also, we're fighting in the state of California. Reverend K.W. Toulis, our regional chair, as well as our San Diego chapter president, Reverend Harris, where we have a pending bill that called for special prosecutor police cases that they're now trying to water down to a research project. So our chapters are all over Sacramento, work with NAACP and others, and we go fight that. I was this week in Chicago, where I spoke with 27 ministers, Reverend Cy Fields, and of course, Reverend Ira Ackery, and other ministers, Reverend Marshall Hatch Jr., his father was in Africa, be back today. And they committed their bringing a big delegation to Washington. Father Flavor says coming as part of the 1,000-member march. And when I look at a city like Chicago, last weekend, 103 shootings. 103 shootings. 15 people died. And they're comparing records. Well, this was more than last year. Like we talking about Venus going to Wimbledon. Where we have got into this whole comfort zone that we are no longer uncomfortable with hearing the bloodshed that's going on. When you know that wickedness and sin is abound, is when you have the normalization of insane, unthinkable behavior. It's normal now that scores of people get shot. It's normal now to wake up 2 twins, kill 4 people, and you act like that's just something they talk about before the weather come on. Anytime you get normalized with this kind of brutality, then you have slid into a civilizational crisis. And that's where we are now. And one of the reasons why we're there is because those of us that ought to be challenging that and speaking the truth have become compromised and afraid and won't stand up and call the wicked wicked and call wrong wrong. And calling wicked wicked is not just talking about personal habits. A lot of y'all are great with personal sins. Oh, you shouldn't do this, shouldn't fear. And you shouldn't cheat on your husband. And you shouldn't eat bad food or shouldn't smoke a cigarette. We good with personal stuff. But we won't deal with wickedness in high places. We won't deal with powers and principalities. So you really don't believe in God if you think God is a personal valet to clean up your personal habits, but that God won't use you to straighten out institutional society. Jesus challenged those in power. Now, Reb, I'll do that, Sharp and do that. Well, then support me doing it if you're scared to do it. I was at 10 years in Chicago. A guy wanted to talk to me. Said, now, you know, Reverend Al, I've got little political ambitions. We should meet late at an undisclosed place. So, you know, these modern day Negro Demuses. You know, Nicodemus wanted to meet late. I call them Negro Demuses. Don't want to be seen with you. But they need your help. But I help Negro Demuses too. I also, while I was in Chicago, went and spoke at the ministers' luncheon for Rainbow Push, because I came out of Operation Breadbasket when I was 13. Reverend Herbert Daughtry was here this morning. Reverend Bill Jones, Reverend Jesse Jackson appointed me the youth director of Operation Breadbasket. I'd been in for about a year, but I became youth director. And I grew in that movement onto other things that I've done with Nash Action Network. But I always honor where I come from, because a branch is no stronger than the root of the tree that you sprung from. You do not ever see anyone succeed long that disconnects from the root, because the root is what gave you life. That's why I always honor Bishop Washington, always honor Reverend Jackson, always honor Jay Brown. We could argue, but you must honor them. The Bible says, honor thy mother and father, that your days, you ain't doing them no favor, your days, I don't care how bad they are, they're your mom and daddy, they brought you here. And I don't care how much I disagree with them, they gave me a chance when nobody thought I would do nothing. I'm a little boy. There was no reason to spend time with me. They put me on platforms when nobody thought I was something. So when they asked me to come, Andrew Young was there, and C.T. Vivian, and others, I went because that's the ground I come from. The problem we got today is too many disconnected folk. Branches that's not hooked into a tree. If you read the Bible, Reverend, there is no prophet in the Bible that is not first connected to the prophetic tradition that he comes from. It's in the book. Every prophet say, I come in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Well, why do they do that? They want you to know from the beginning that I am not some little celebrity. I am connected to the roots of this tradition that goes to God himself. If you're not connected to something before you and after you, then you are disconnected and irrelevant. So I come out of the King tradition, trained by Jesse and Wyatt Walker. And I want to pass on to others in that tradition. I ain't got nothing against other traditions, but I don't come from that. Even Jesus, I told them this at the luncheon that I keynoted for them. Jesus, the first time we saw him, introduced in the Bible in a formal context, St. Matthew, the first chapter, Matthew, the first thing he did was give Jesus lineage and traced him back to David. And Jesus said, I come not to change the law of Moses, but to fulfill the law. Now, Jesus, God's son, had to show his connection. Who do you think you are? A lot of y'all watching me right now on television, rather than deny your roots, I don't care how bad your family was, they are what produced you. And the reason you react and respond and act the way you act is because of the family that you grew up with. Some of the stuff you brought with you is bad. But if you don't face it, you will never get healed of it because you will deny you came from it. A lot of folk had bad experiences. I want to forget it. No, don't forget it. Remember it so that you won't duplicate it and get healed from it. I knew someone who would become like a father to me. And every time he would get in a dispute, particularly with a girlfriend or wife, he'd end up fighting. And one day he told me, he said, Reverend, he said, don't ever raise your hand at a woman. He said, I'm wrong when I do that. But I grew up watching my father do that. And I never dealt with that. If you come from bad stuff, don't deny you came from it. Eliminate it, correct it. But don't be shamed the way you come from. Because if you shame the what produced you, you are only creating the environment for people to be ashamed of you. If I grew up under Bishop Washington, Reverend Bill Jones, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Reverend Daughtry, friend of James Brown, and I'm running around bad-mouthing them, and that's where I come from, how do you think you make me look? If they all wasn't nothing, then how am I something if they produce me? I mean, nothing more ignorant. Not ignorant, ignorant. Than to denounce what produced you. Rick Merrill, I remember Oprah Winfrey asked, you still get on your knees to pray? Yeah. Some of y'all saw that interview. She said, me too. I thought she was going to say why. But the reason I still get on my knees, and the reason I guess Oprah still get on her knees, is that's how I was taught how to pray. Now I know some of y'all cute and got these, different ways you can do whatever you do. I mean, y'all pray real quick. I believe in getting ugly because I deal with ugly situations. So I try to be alone because ain't no telling what I got to download to God. You know, all of these little quick things y'all be doing, they don't work for me. No, they don't. All the sign language prayers and all that. And no, you know what I meant, God? No. I come out of holy, howling, crying, slobber, snot out your nose, praying. But y'all can laugh at it, it brought me through. Now, if all that worked for you, I ain't against it now. I'm not mocking nobody. You do what intercedes for you. But I know what tradition I come from. And if God had all kind of ways that he could have sent and brought me in the world, he chose me that route, then that's the route I'm going to take. Because God don't make no mistakes. Look at what is going on in the nation. That's why we need to pray and stay faithful to a tradition. We have a president sitting in the White House that while we are looking at this whole question of Russian connection, I want y'all to get this in the barbershop now. First they say that they never talked to the Russians. They say they don't know whether the Russians hacked the Clintons' campaign or not. And every other day, there are more and more evidence that that's not true. Now you got Donald Jr. that got an email saying that I have someone to meet with you that will give some very bad information. I'm trying to remember the exact word. Detrimental, I think was the word. Information on Hillary Clinton. And the part of the Russian government and part of the Russian people want to see your father's president. This isn't right. He writes back, I love it. Now, explain to me, if somebody says to me that I want to bring somebody to meet with you that got some information against Attorney Hart, and I write back, I love it, and we meet, how y'all still asking, is that collusion? They're sitting up on television, acting like they're trying to figure out something that's obvious. Well, we want to know what was discussed in the meeting. It don't matter. The premise of the meeting was a foreign enemy government was going to provide you with information against your opponent. That's the basis of the meeting. The minute you say, I love it, and agree, and brought the campaign manager and advisor, your brother-in-law, to the meeting, you had already engage in collusion. Councilman Levine is here. If I send Councilman Levine an email, said I want y'all to meet me, you and your sister, to meet me at Sylvia's restaurant, and we gonna have a meeting to talk about how we can make sure your son gets a no-show job where he gets paid, ain't got to show up. We gonna get him a no-show job because we want you to vote certain ways for us. And he emails back, I love it. We ain't never got to give him the job. We are guilty of conspiracy, which is a crime, just because we met on the basis of conspiring to do so. So collusion is there. Now you can find out what happened in the meeting. You can find out what the translator did, all of that. But collusion is firm. Now, once there was the collusion, and y'all are dealing with this drop, drop, drop every day, what they're doing while y'all are watching the drops is a diversion from what they're doing with health care, what they're doing with confirming certain people to these judgeships. They have come with a Senate bill, Ted Cruz and others, that would lay a worse situation than the last one. They will have it where pre-existing conditions, the premiums will go up to where you cannot afford it, knocking out pre-existing conditions, knocking out funding for Medicaid, and they run around trying to ram this bill through while you playing some serial game, watching what they're going to get on the Trumps and the Russians, when they already got it. It is a danger in the normalization of the kind of behavior that we see. And once you become normalized, then you lose the ability to connect to your real, affirmed full citizenship in this country. They're taking away voting rights. How they doing that right now? Telling you they want all the data on voters all over the country in the name of, according to Trump, 3 million illegal immigrants voting. First of all, if you don't know how many that you claim voted, King, how did you get 3 million? I mean, just anything. But he say that because he lost the popular vote by 2.8 million. So he trying to call everybody that voted over against him, they had to be illegal. But explain this to me, Councilman Levine. You want the Social Security number, employment number, know what political party they vote for, of every voter. You want all of this for them to vote. But you don't want background checks for folk to own guns. You want my background, my habits, my inclination to vote.
Come on now.
But you don't want none of that for me to go and buy a pistol. And then you wonder why we got shooting deaths in Chicago and Baltimore and New York. Because you're more concerned with who can vote against you than who can kill my child on the street. And if we're not dealing with that, then what role do we play? Why are we here? God don't call you Reverend the preach about yesterday. He called you to preach about what's happening in the time he called you. Preach about what we're going to do about the violence. Preach about what we're going to do about Medicaid cuts. Preach about what we're going to do about unemployment. Preach about how we got a summer where children can't get summer jobs. Don't tell me what God did. Tell me what God can use us to do right now. We're so busy tuning up our sermons that we are not in tune with the time that God wants us to work. Some of y'all ain't preachers, don't tune it up when they get, to the end sweet. I know how to do all that. I tune up every time I preach, but I first go give you, like I did today, the facts of what we got to deal with and an action plan, like going to Washington. But some folk, I heard a guy preach one time, tune up, so the audience just going crazy, and ain't listening. He wasn't saying nothing. And they just gone crazy. And he ran out of words to say. He didn't know nothing to say. So he said, I went to the department store. Oh, yeah. First floor, underwear. Yes! Second floor, lingerie. Third floor. And you just jump. Tune it up, but not attuned to what's going on. If you ain't preaching about the wicked in high places today and what they doing to the people you preaching for, you're denying God using you in these times. That's why I went to Nehemiah. Read this week. Nehemiah taught me a lesson. Nehemiah 5th chapter, 1 to 9. Y'all read it. Nehemiah was a servant in another land. And he had come from Jerusalem. Let me give you this, I'll let you go. He got word every now and then from his homeland as he served another king. Nehemiah was a little depressed one day because it had been a long time since he'd heard from home. And some of y'all, my parents from the South, and migrated to the North looking for better job and looking for a better way of living because they were born in the 20s in the South and grew up where they had to walk in the street when whites walked on the curb and where they couldn't use a toilet and couldn't go to restaurant. They come north. And when they got north, they met each other, had me and my sister. They both had children from previous marriages that were still in the South. And up here in the North, they were part of that migration of Southern blacks. But after I was born, they always looked for letters from home. Mama from Alabama, daddy from Florida, but home was never Brooklyn. Home Brooklyn for me, but Alabama was home. Nehemiah was depressed because he hadn't heard from home. But one day somebody came and he recognized their accent. And he waited till after they had talked to the king, and he went and snuck around and said, let me ask you something. I'm Nehemiah, I'm from back home. How are things back home? And the visitor said, well, Nehemiah, things are not that going that well. Well, what do you mean? Well, we've been conquered. Our statues have been leveled. And the thing that got him more than anything else, Jim, is it said, and the walls of Jerusalem have been torn down. The walls of Jerusalem were the fortress that protected the state. Nehemiah went around and he couldn't shake off the shock and depression. He finally went to the king and said, King, give me a letter. I want to go home. I've got to go and salvage where I come from. And I know when I was coming, you had to have king letter to cross the water. Give me a letter. King said, well, if I let you go, Nehemiah, when will you return? He said, I'll be back when the walls of Jerusalem have been rebuilt. He went home to rebuild the walls. But let me tell you what he taught me. He taught everybody there that the way to rebuild the wall is everybody do your part. Stand in your part. Quit arguing about who's going to have the biggest name. Just build your part of the wall. Quit arguing about who's going to be on TV. Build your part of the wall. If you build your part, the wall will be built. If we keep messing with each other, we won't have a wall or no recognition. People come to me, Renal, did you hear what this one said? Nehemiah sent me a message. They were some mischievous people that were meeting, and they wanted to lure Nehemiah into their foolishness. This is my message for the week. And Nehemiah sent word back. He said, I can't come down because I'm doing a great work. Y'all keep getting distracted rather than doing the work. The work is greater than you. The work is greater than what they say about you. The work is greater than their little criticism of me. Right now, did you hear what Fox News said? No, I'm up trying to rebuild Dr. King's wall. I'm doing a great work. Right now, what you got to say about Jay-Z? I can't come down. I'm up here doing a great work. Right now, so-and-so got something to say. Say what you wanna. I can't come down. I got to rebuild this wall. God didn't call you for no argument. God didn't call you for no bickering. God called us in this day and this time. We got to rebuild the wall. The wall that brought us from segregation, from the back of the bus to Obama in the White House. They're trying to tear the walls down, the walls that brought us from couldn't have a cup of coffee at the lunch counter to where now we own hotels. They're trying to tear the walls down. I don't care what nobody say about me. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight and I'm going to rebuild the wall because the God I serve will make a way out of no way. The God I serve will give us strength above weakness. The God I serve say, if you stand up, I'll hold you up. The God I serve say, I'll fight your battle if you just keep still. The God I serve said, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. He never left us alone. Everybody sing. Everybody singing. Everybody singing. Everybody singing. Singing like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. doors of the network. There may be someone here today, hears us on the radio, watches us on television, but never joined National Action Network. We have, as you heard this morning, various auxiliaries and departments, from gun violence to housing to political action to youth to our theater and drama. There are many things you can do and be an active part of this organization. If you're here and not a member, you may not even have your dues to join today, but if you walk down this aisle, I'll sign you up and make you a member right now of National Action Network. Come on. Everybody sing. Come on. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Yeah. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Justice, got to have justice. We want justice. All right, we're gonna raise our offering, moving quickly, quickly, quickly. I want everybody to give to the best of their ability. I need you to help. We raise a lot of money, but Saturday morning we need help too. We on television now. Got to pay all this equipment, everybody up here. Sister Aisha got on her television gaily on her head today. I want her to look good, so y'all help raise some money. Y'all see phones ringing? They be getting a disconnect notice. All right, I need about 10 people that can give $100 or more. Come quickly, about 10 people. Winston Gilchrist, $100. Come on, come on. Guardians, $100. Charles Maynard, $100. All right. Teaching her how to give. Sister Clarice Cunningham, $100. Come on, I need some more hundreds. Dr. Alvin Ponder, $100. Come on, come on, come on. Give me some 50.